All right, welcome back to the studio, guys. It's always a blessing to have you with us. We're not interviewing anyone today, but instead, we're going to be answering a question. Recently, I was at a church and we were giving a presentation on how to do something great for God. And during the question and answer segment, someone asked that question: how do you start? How do you do something great for God? There is three things that I use personally for myself, and it's been working now for over what, 14 years. Three simple things that I personally use for the past 15 years doing something great for God. Number one, a desire. That's where it starts for me. A desire. Sometimes desires are pretty rare in people's life, but every now and then we have these heartfelt desires, and sometimes desires come across like, I'm thinking I'd like to do this or I'd like to do that, or I wonder if I could. That's a desire in the making, right? And it's this little conviction. It's something that's pulling on you, and you're just wondering, can I, or I would like to. So it starts with a desire, and the desire it's something that usually comes from the heart. You observe something, or maybe you had an experience something with something or with someone, and there comes this desire. So it starts with a desire, and what I'll do is I have a desire to do something, and in connection to doing it for God. And once I have that desire, the next step is I take it to the Lord in prayer. I begin to pray about that desire. And I'll say, Lord, I would like to do something for you, whatever it is. I don't want to give examples because you might think that I'm trying to put some stuff in your brain, but whatever the desire is, just take that desire and take it to the Lord in prayer and just begin to pray about it. And when you pray about it, you find different ways and means. I don't know how you pray when you pray. Some individual Christians, they will do fasting while praying, whichever works for you. But find a way to take that heartfelt desire to the Lord in prayer, and you just begin to pray about it and see what happens. Then the third step is wait for divine providence. Wait for that providential working of God to facilitate whatever that desire is, and to have Him basically give you answers for your prayers. So I'm gonna use myself as an example, right? And here goes. I desired to be a missionary pilot, and I just had the desire. I've been watching missionary aviation videos. I see different mission pilots in action. I've met some of them in person, and the desire just popped up in my heart. I wonder if I could be a missionary pilot. And I took it to the Lord in prayer. For me, that lasted I prayed about it for 2 years. And finally, after 2 years of praying, my wife said to me one day, how long are you gonna just pray about it? So my initial reaction to her was, hey, we don't have the money to afford this. So that's why I've been just praying about it. And step three was the reason why I'm making this video. The third step is the most crucial step. That's gonna be the stage at which you begin to spring into action. So for me, I had a desire. I prayed about it for 2 years. Then I stepped out by faith, trying to see if there's any providential leading or openings of God to make this desire one that will come to fruition. So I remember I took public transportation down to the nearest airport to where I was living at the time. And after I got to the airport, in 5 minutes, I'm talking with the president for the aviation school, and he gave me $1,000 discount on my tuition right there and then. And then he said something to me which strengthened that providential leading of the Lord. He said, "You know what? I would like to give you your training for free, seeing that you want to do it for missionary work. But I have to eat, and that's why I have to charge you something for the training." So immediately I knew at that point, if this stranger at a flight school can be tempted, so to speak, to give me the training for free, then that clearly tells me that God is already leading. I have a $1,000 discount on my tuition. He would like to give it to me for free, but because he has to eat, he cannot. And then I even stretched him a little bit more. I said, okay, what if I don't have the $8,000, at that time it was $9,000, subtract the $1,000 discount. So what if I don't have the $8,000 up front? Can I do payments? He said, yeah, you can give me half now and do 50% of the training, pay the other half, and we're more than willing to work with you financially where you are. And so those three things helped me to be a missionary pilot today. There are other things that I had desires for. I had desires to have a vehicle, to be able to move around flexible, to get to my appointments, to bring my equipment, to basically move around faster and more efficient. And yeah, had a desire, prayed about it, and so far doing ministry for 15 years now, I have owned 3 vehicles, and I pretty much never bought any of them. God provided 2 for free. He provided the money to get the third one. So it's just been an amazing journey. And this is what I shared with those young people at that church, and it's what I want to share with you. And the steps are very simple. Number 1, a heartfelt desire, something that you think that God, you do it for people because God is gonna bless, He's gonna lead, and it's just a burden on your heart to do something great for God. And you take that desire in prayer. You pray about it, you fast about it, you challenge the Lord on it. You inquire to Him, Lord, is this something that you want me to do? Is this something that I could do for you? And the third one is just watch for His providential leading. I have countless stories of how I've been able to meet people who took me up on flights that I didn't pay them to instruct me for. People who had their flight lessons, I could tag along with them. I had instructors that went beyond their paycheck to help me out. Like so many divine providence. I had individuals I've never met that gave me thousands of dollars towards the training. So in my life personally, I have seen that when I have a heartfelt desire and I take it to the Lord in prayer, His providential leading always takes me to that point where it's not a desire anymore, it's not just something I'm praying about anymore, but I'm actually now doing something great for God. What are your questions? I have a promise text that I want to share with you from the Bible. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 and 6. It says, "Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding, but in all thy ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct thy path." That's the secret. You're trusting in God completely with your heartfelt desire. You take it to Him in prayer because you don't want to lean on your own understanding. And I remember I leaned on my own understanding. And my own understanding, when I had the desire to be a missionary pilot, my own understanding says, you don't have the money to do it. Your wife cannot pay for it for you. Your mom cannot pay for it. You have no relatives. You have no friends with that kind of money to pay for missionary flight training. So when I took it to the Lord in prayer and I got away from mine own understanding, the Lord comforted me with the assurance that with me, all things are possible, even though with you, some things are just impossible. So I trust in God with all my heart. I didn't lean on my own understanding. I acknowledged Him in my ways by praying about it. And then He gave me the directions. And He brought me to the different people, institutions. And today I can say, praise the Lord, I'm now a missionary pilot. May God help you to have that heartfelt desire, to take it to Him in prayer, and then just wait and watch for His providential leading that will guide you to doing something great for God. Thank you. Subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Instagram, Missionary Pilot 172. Follow me on my Facebook and subscribe, thumbs up. And if you have any other question, I'll be more than willing to answer those as well. God bless and have a wonderful day.